How you doing today? Bill Applegate here. I'm going to do a lesson today on a great standard called Black Orpheus. It's in the key of A minor and really lays well on the guitar. You can do a lot of neat stuff with it. I'm just going to go through the comping, the melody, and a little solo I wrote out. So let's get started with the comping. Let's go through it here. It starts with a A minor 7 drop, real common drop 3 chord, but instead of using this, I went ahead and used the open string there since it was available, and it gives it a nice different timbre, kind of an open sound, and it also seems to make it go smoothly to this chord because you're going on the same string. It might be a little psychosomatic that it's actually doing that, but I think it might. Okay, on the B minor 7 flat 5, I'm using this chord a lot on that B minor 7 flat 5, which has the 11th here. It's the same as an F major 7 with a flat of 5th. So you have the flat 5, the root, the 11th, and the flat 7th. Here, you should probably write that G natural as an F double sharp since it is the sharp 9, but I went ahead and, for ease of reading, just wrote it as a G. Keep in mind that the scale I usually use on an E7 flat 9 would be like the 5th, the A harmonic starting on the 5th scale degree, and that wouldn't include that G. So that's kind of a passing note. But that note, the flat 9 is in the scale. But it kind of works because you're going down the scale like that. Same thing again. Same thing one more time. Using a D minor 7 with the 11th here. Basically, you play this bar chord you probably already know and just lift this finger. A 13 chord with the 3rd in the bass. You may have played a 9th chord like this, a G9. You just reach the 5th up to the 13th. Down to that 5th. A real typical major 7 chord, drop 2 voicing, which goes nicely to that C sharp diminished. Back to this D minor 7, back to this G7. Using a 6/9 chord here that works really well. Now this chord kind of looks like a C6, but it also works as an F major 9. You may think of this. Moving a root up here to the 9th. Okay. So you have the 5th, the 9th, the 3rd, and the 7th. It is a little challenging to get that chord cleanly, especially down here in the lower positions. Up here it works easier, but down here in the lower positions it is a little bit of a challenge to get that. So okay, remember that a B minor 7 flat 5 has the same notes as a D minor 6, so you might think of this as a D minor 6. And that's a little challenging to grab too, especially after this chord. Okay? Okay, if you're on an E7 flat 9 and you go play this shape that you probably played before, you're getting the flat 7th, the 3rd. You can think of this as the flat 13th or the raised 5th. And then the flat, probably the flat 13th because that's the scale that will work there. And a flat 9th. Okay, there's a sharp 9 there too. Remember that sharp 9 is not actually in the scale, so you are creating a little tension there. Same thing here on the that I used earlier on the B minor 7 flat 5 to E7 flat 9. Okay, here's a really nice voicing of an A minor 7 with the 5th, the 3rd, the 11th, and the flat 7th. So we're using the 11th on this and this chord. Now, you would think this might get a little repetitive using the same thing, but when you use it in relationship to this different A minor 7 voicing, I think you do get a little bit different flavor. So repeating that same idea in the minor 7 flat 5 to the flat 9 chord seems to still work pretty well. Okay, just real typical E minor 7 flat 5 voicing with the 3rd up to the 4th. So I'm just using a diminished chord voicing here for this A7 flat 9. You might think of this A7, the root moved up to the flat 9. Just inverting that. You may think of this A7 with the root moved up to the flat 9. So this is kind of a chordal idea that if you've worked on impressions would be a good use there. Here we have that same voicing. Sticking with that, I'm just going, you don't always have to add the bass notes to follow the bass, but here it seems to work really well, so I went ahead and did that. Okay, B minor, the typical drop 3 voicing of the minor 7 flat 5, E minor 7 flat 5, and E7, real typical voicing there, and then I went ahead and flatted the 5th, kind of as a chromatic down, so okay, so we get that nice little ascending bass line. Typical A minor 7. Here I'm going to go ahead and use this voicing because it's a lot easier to reach the G that way. You could go down here to keep that thing going down, but I went ahead and went back up on that note. So this is a major 7 chord, but I put the 9th in there, lift the 3rd up and put the 9th, create a little tension there. Really sounds nice. This D minor 6 voicing for the B minor 7 flat 5. Same voicing here we used earlier. Alright, there you have the comping. Let's go ahead and look at the melody. Starting out the melody here on the 5th of the A minor 7, up to the 3rd, using an octave, some more, another octave there. Have to shift down to the 4th to get the 3rd and 5th of the E7 chord. Here what I try to do is hit the, I just wrote it like that, but I try to kind of hit the melody note first, so. Kind of mess around with that. Same here, I wrote it out But you don't have to do that exactly like that. You just something like that. Same thing again. Melody changes here to fit the chords. Root 3. And the same thing here, I hit the E note there first. So just using your fourth finger to go up on that seems to make a pretty nice legato sound there. So add a 13th chord in there. This is a real nice voicing of an F6. Okay. We have the 6th and the 9th. So 6, 9, 5, 1. Notice, be real aware which notes are the melody and which are the more of a fill type thing. So you bring out the melody a little more and maybe a little bit softer on the non-melody notes. So. More of the same. Notice how I brought that melody out when I hit that chord. Keep in mind that an E minor 7 flat 5 is the same as a G minor 6. So I'm kind of thinking of this, you know, G minor 7, that G minor 6, okay? So just a little softer. I think that makes those fills more effective when they're not as loud as the melody, I guess. I think I kind of laid back here, almost back phrase this next part, even though I didn't write it that way. Then you can kind of fill into the solo. Okay? Okay, let's look at the solo. Starting here on the 5th, going up to the flat 7th, and then chromatically back down to the 5th. Then just in our A minor arpeggio there. 5, 3, 1, 3. Okay, so on the B minor 7 flat 5 chord, I'm thinking primarily of using this C major scale starting on the 7th scale degree. And for the E 7 flat 9, I'm thinking of the A harmonic minor starting on the 5th scale degree. So here, and you know, targeting the chord tone. So here we're starting on the 3rd of it. 3, 4, 5, you know, flat 5, 3, and then the 3rd of the E chord. 1, 7. So that's just an arpeggio. A minor 7, just doing the 3rd, root, 7, root. And that root of the A minor is also the 7th of this chord. Okay, a similar lick here on the A minor 7. 1, 7, going down to the 5th, right? 7th chromatically down the 5th. Okay, and then closure around the root of the D minor 7, and closure around the 7th of the G7. Just slide up here to do a real typical C major 7 arpeggio with the 9th in there. So all chord tones but the 9th. 5, 3, 1, 9, 7, 5. So if you look at a diminished chord, you can do an arpeggio just by starting on the chord tone, then playing 4th finger, so, and then just shift each time. Remember on this one you have to shift twice because the string's different, you know, from the G to the B. So you can always throw that in, and it sounds, that's a real nice sound. So it's, so here's the C sharp inverted, so I'm just starting on this inversion, I guess. Okay, so it's all chord tones. So, okay, sliding up to this D minor 7. 3, 1, 7, 1. Doing a chromatic from the 3rd to the 5th on the G7. 13, 7, 13, 5. Now here what I'm doing, it's a nice sound when you go something like that. It's just a C, it's just C scale notes, but I slide into that, so that gives me this a useful F major 7 place to play, I guess. 5, 3, 1, 9, 7, 5, 13. I seem to end on this once in a while, and I think it sounds fine. Okay, going on, B minor 7. Remember, we're doing C scale, but this is just arpeggio. Flat 5, 4, 3, 1, 3, then chromatically up to the E. That's the flat 9th, remember. So root, flat 9, 3rd, 4, 5, 4, 3, 1. Now the G sharp really isn't in this chord or the scale, but it works real well as a passing note there. Okay. Same scales there, okay. Here I went ahead and quoted the melody just for 2 measures. It seemed to really work effectively, especially after playing kind of a lot of 8th note. It felt really good to kind of slow down there. 3, 9, 9, 1, 1, 5, 7, 7, and those are the, I guess you're kind of anticipating the E there. The 3rd of the E, okay. E minor 7. Well, if probably the most common scale you'd use on that would be the F major, starting on the E. Another scale you can use is the G minor, starting on the E, G melodic minor. There's only one note different, this F. So in this case, I went ahead and used the F sharp from the G minor scale, which just lays so well on this particular chord shape. So that's why I did that. You can experiment using the F natural too if you think that sounds better. Okay. Okay, just using the D harmonic minor starting on the A. So it's 1. So you're going to have a flat 9 and a flat 13. There's the flat 13th. So flat 9 there, flat 13th. Here I just played on a D minor 7 arpeggio, but I just played 2 notes below each chord tone using triplets. kind of a bluesy lick here that I like to use sometimes. So you have the flat fifth, but that's because of a blues scale. Okay, octaves going down here on the D minor 7. Keeping that going. Okay, back to the A minor. 7 1 7 5 3. Doing an enclosure here of the C, the fifth. So two notes above it, one below. 3 1. Okay. This is just straight up the scale, starting on the 7th. Okay, and then a harmonic minor. Little slide here. Okay, now here I'm using basically an A minor pentatonic type of thing. So really, when you're first starting to improvise, you might try just using the A minor pentatonic, like in the first 4 measures, because it'll definitely work real well. You kind of play kind of upper extension notes on this part, but then it resolves. So, and you know, the A minor pentatonic has all the notes of the A minor 7 chord in it. So you can start out trying that. See, that would work well on the first 4 measures. You can do a nice solo just doing that. All right, there's Black Orpheus, a little Latin tune. It's really fun to play, and you know, because it's an A minor, it plays really well on the guitar. It's like a perfect guitar bossa nova. Remember to get the PDF and examples and backing tracks from my website, BillApplegateGuitarist.com. If you like these videos, please click the like and subscribe buttons. And I hope this was useful to you, and you guys have a great day. Thank you very much.